gentlemen, today we're going to do Draco Malfoy, mid higher up wizard, Weasley, Kingdom Wizard World reader. Let's go. Prologue chapter when they first met. Joey and John Weasley Pro. I was in third year. I was in my train card, and one of the first years was crying that one of the new first years were bullying him, and he needed help from an older member of Hogwarts. I smiled and got up and asked him to show me where the bully was. What a bully is. He showed me the one, and it was a Malfoy. I looked at him and I smiled and looked at him. Hogwarts does not like bullies, I spoke. And you are? Said the Malfoy. I'm totally John Weasley, the third year and the student of Dumbledore, I spoke. A soon to be higher up, said Malfoy. Look, what's your name? I spoke. I am Draco, said Draco. Okay, well, Draco, just stop. I spoke. Fine, said Draco. I smiled and got back to my cart, but I grabbed the boy that got bullied, sat him on my chair next to me. Thank you for saving me, said the boy. You are welcome, I spoke. I am Johnny Lawrence, said Johnny. I am Tony John Weasley, I spoke. So do you know how Dumbledore would act? Said Johnny. Don't worry, I spoke. So let me go, said Johnny. Do you want to get bullied again? I spoke. No, said Johnny. Just stay here, I spoke. Okay, said Johnny. The train stopped and I showed him to the boats, and I called my flying bird and it came. I smelled and got my bird and flew to Hogwarts. I smelled and got there before the boats because Dumbledore warned me. I smelled Dumbledore was there. I smelled and got off my bird, and I smelled and hugged him. Nice to see you, my student, said Dumbledore. Nice to see you as well, master. I spoke. So let us see if you can still tackle Snape, said Dumbledore. I smelled and went into the shadows, and went into the shadow with Snape and tackled him, and he yelled at Dumbledore, not me. Why, you Dumbledore? Said Snape. You can get off of me, Weasley, said Snape. Yes, sir, I spoke, getting off of him. I smiled and helped him up, and he rubbed my head. I smiled and bowed to him. You did good, said Snape. I smiled about and went back in the shadows to head back to Dumbledore. I smiled and tackled him, and he laughed and picked me up and got up. Was I that light for him? He smiled at my shocked face. I smiled and he carried me to the dining hall area and put me in my seat in my house, and he smiled and patted my head. I smiled, looked at McGonagall, and she smiled and patted my head. I smiled and looked up and the door, and she left and knew the first years were here. I smiled and looked at my wand on the table and looked at what I could do. I smiled, bowed to my wand, and it went into my hand. I smiled, looked at Dumbledore, and he smiled and looked at my wand. He smiled, and used my head to put the wand in my hand. I smiled, and the students stood, and the hat was sorting them into places, and drawers put into my house. And other kids were in my house as well. They sat in my house in the seats, and I smiled and bowed to them, and they smiled as well. I looked at Draco, and he was in the Slytherin house. I smiled and looked at my brother in Gryffindor. I smiled and bowed to him. It was a party for the new kids, so I showed them how to use the magic and make the food. And they did a good job, and we ate, and then we headed to the house, and we fell asleep. They were all asleep, and I went to the main room and looked outside, saw my owl and smiled, and saw my mom and dad gave me a present for my third year of Hogwarts. I smiled, opened the present, and I knew it was a new hat from the shop I liked, and I put it on and went to see Dumbledore to show him my present being my third year. I knocked on his door, and he said, "Come in." I walked in, and he smiled. "So your owl brought your present from your mom and dad," said Dumbledore, smiling. "Yes, she got me a new hat, and it was from the hat place you told me would be a good place to get a hat," I spoke. "That is good," said Dumbledore. "Well, I have to go," I spoke. "Wait till I have a present for you," said Dumbledore. He gave me a box, and I opened it, and it was new robes for a third year. I smiled and hugged him. "Thank you, sir," I spoke. "You are welcome," said Dumbledore. I smiled and carried the box to my house, and then went to my room and tried on the ropes. In a smiling fit, I took it off and put it on the mannequin and then went to bed. I smiled and looked at the stars from my window. I fell asleep. Today was somewhat a good day, I thought.